Today, we're diving into one of the most breathtaking plants on the entire planet, the jade vine. I mean, just look at it. It's famous for a color that's so vibrant, so unique, it almost looks like it was made in a lab. And right there, that's the heart of the mystery. This glowing, almost neon turquoise color is incredibly rare in the natural world. It defies what we think a flower should look like, which of course brings up a couple of really big questions. You have to wonder, how does a plant cook up a color this impossible? And maybe more importantly, what on earth is the evolutionary reason for it? All right, let's solve the mystery of the jade vine. Okay, so to answer the how, we've got to look at the chemistry. And what's so cool is that this color doesn't come from some single magical pigment. Nope, it's actually the result of a really sophisticated and precise chemical recipe that the vine has perfected over millions of years. You can basically think of it like a three-step recipe. First, the plant mixes two pretty common pigments, one that gives a blue-purple color and another that gives a yellow one. Then it does something really weird. It makes its own cell sap alkaline. And that final step, that's the magic key. It triggers a chemical reaction that shifts the whole mix into that signature luminous turquoise. And the level of precision here is just wow, it's incredible. As you can see, the plant uses two specific pigments, malvin and saponarin, and it mixes them in a super precise 1:9 ratio. But the real secret sauce is the pH. At 7.9, the cells are slightly alkaline. Now that is highly unusual for a flower because most plant pigments live in an acidic environment. That alkalinity is what kicks off the reaction, shifting the color into that jaw-dropping jade green we see. So, okay, now we know how the vine makes this color, but why? Why go to all that chemical trouble? Well, the answer isn't about what we see during the day. It's about what comes out at night. The jade vine is a perfect example of chiropterophilia, and that's your new favorite word of the day, I promise. It just means pollination by bats. The entire flower, its shape, its color, the whole shebang is basically a carefully engineered billboard for a nocturnal audience. And this is where you really see how specialized it is. That glowing color practically shines in the twilight, acting like a landing light. The flower clusters are huge, and they hang down, making them easy for a flying mammal to spot. When a bat hangs upside down for a drink of nectar, its own weight triggers a little mechanism that dusts its head with pollen. And get this, some scientists think the claw shape might even work as a sonic beacon, helping bats find the flowers in the dark by reflecting their echolocation calls. How cool is that? Now, you might have heard of a red jade vine, and it's really important not to mix them up. They look similar, but as you can see, it's a totally different plant from New Guinea. Its bright scarlet color is designed to attract birds in addition to bats. It just goes to show you how color is this incredibly specific tool that plants use to get the right pollinator for the job. This incredible specialization ties the jade vine to a very specific place on Earth, and unfortunately, a very fragile ecosystem. To really get the vine, you have to get its home. So Western science first bumped into this vine way back in 1841 in the Philippines. It was officially described a little later in 1854, but it took another century, until the 1950s, for it to become the star attraction we know and love in botanical gardens all over the world. In the wild, you'll only find it in the Philippines. And let me tell you, it is picky. It has to have the exact conditions of an undisturbed primary rainforest, usually right near a stream. And since it's a liana, a type of woody vine, its entire life depends on having huge, old trees to climb so it can reach the sunlight way up in the canopy. And this is where this story takes a pretty dark turn. That extreme specialization, the very thing that makes the jade vine so amazing, is also its greatest weakness. The things it needs to survive, well, they're disappearing. Today, it's estimated that only about 20% of the original primary forest in the Philippines is left. Just let that number sink in. That single statistic gets right to the heart of the vine's crisis. So the vine is facing this devastating 1-2 punch. First, you've got deforestation, which is wiping out the giant trees the vine absolutely needs for support. Simply put, no trees, no vine. And second, as the forests get smaller and chopped up, the bat populations are crashing. Without its special pollinator, the vine can't reproduce. This leads to a really haunting ecological idea called extinction debt. What it means is that even if you see a beautiful, healthy jade vine flowering today, it might already be a ghost. If its bat pollinators are gone, it can't make seeds. It's effectively sterile. It's just living out its days, waiting to disappear.
And that brings us to the vine's bigger message. Because it's so much more than just a pretty flower. It's a cultural icon and a really powerful symbol.
In the Philippines, it's known as tayabak, and in local folklore, it's connected to the guardian spirit of the very mountain where it was first documented. Its beauty is so legendary that it was even adopted into Hawaiian culture for making these absolutely spectacular leaves. It really is a symbol of natural heritage. Ultimately, the jade vine acts as a powerful ecological indicator. Think of it like a canary in a coal mine. Because it's so specialized, its health is a direct reflection of the health of the entire rainforest. If the vine is doing well, it means the big trees are still standing and the bats are still flying. If it starts to disappear, that's a huge warning sign that the whole system is in deep trouble. And that really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. The jade vine is so spectacular, it's almost impossible to ignore. Its story is a vivid warning about all the intricate, delicate connections that hold our world together. And it really makes you wonder, if a flower this brilliant, this famous, can quietly slip towards extinction, what else are we losing without even noticing?